Bonjour, Juan. Muchas buenos días.
Jacques.
Good morning.
Bonjour. Bonjour, Kona.
Bonjour. Buenos dias, Juan.
How are you today, Kona?
I think I'm doing okay. I've had full-time grandmotherly duties starting on Wednesday, so I have, kids in the morning and kids in the afternoon, and I'll have them all by myself this weekend.
Oops,
Ah!
I know.
It's been a long time since I've been a full-time parent to small children, so
Yeah.
I think I'm okay. I've had a little bit of time to recover.
Yes. Our grandson will join us today within an hour or so.
Oh,
So it's the same. Busy,
how
busy
old?
weekend.
How old?
8 and 10.
Mm. See, it's 2 and 9, so
Big
a
gap
little
between.
big gap and lots of energy.
Oops, yeah. Children those days have a lot of energy. A
Yes,
lot of.
which is usually good, but first thing in the morning, they go to school pretty early, but Fridays, my son didn't have class until later, so they weren't used to going to school until later. And I'm like, this is too much energy for
Mm.
7:30 in the morning. They're up at 6:30 this morning, and I'm like, this is my quiet time. This is when I drink my coffee and slowly wake up.
Yeah, sure.
So that's okay.
Okay.
Oh, we lost one.
Yes, we lost Juan.
Is David coming today?
Mm, Not sure. Did not confirm anyway.
I know
You
we
have
don't have B.
no. You have seen the proposal of Juan about the tree.
Yes.
Of course, it's a general idea, but I think if we go from foundation life to output, it will be an interesting exercise.
Mm-hmm. I think too, if let's say you're teaching the syllabus here where you are, and Juan is teaching the syllabus where he is, either way, you're sharing a concept of how it flows,
Yeah.
and the way that works for you may not be the same way that it works for Juan, and I think that that's okay.
Yes, but I think that generally speaking, foundation is a foundation. You see,
True. Yeah,
last time you said if you love yourself, if you don't love yourself, you cannot love
that's
others.
true. Yeah.
That's true. So love yourself is a foundation.
Yes,
It must be a foundation.
I think so. Yeah. Yes, good point. I think the work that and you posted a picture of a tree, right?
Yeah,
I love that. I love that
I,
picture.
I I've tried to. So maybe we will see it later on. But I've tried to save it. The problem I have is saving the tree, and now apparently I can save it in drive on my drive. Then I can retrieve. We will see if it works. It was working on my own PCs, but when you share
You should
PCs,
also be able to save it on the Miro board as an example. You can add images to the Miro board.
yeah, but I did not really find the menu on the oops, Marta.
Oh, okay.
On the menu, I thought I did not see all the saving
We
possibilities.
we can look at that
Yeah,
together today. Yeah.
for sure.
Hi, good morning. Sorry that I'm late.
So great to see you, Martha. I
Thank
feel like it's
you.
been forever. How are you?
I'm tired, I'm
Aw.
afraid. Oh,
Hmm.
we've had a really tough week and a half. So, yep, but
Sounds
lovely
like
to
it.
be with you. I just want to change my name here, and I've just
Okay.
spoken to Juan, so Juan should be here.
Yes,
He
he
was having
was.
some difficulty logging
Oh,
in.
I see. He goes in and out.
Yeah.
But in any case, wonderful work you've been doing while I've been gone.
They've done some amazing work. I mean, the research and the syllabus and the trees,
Yeah,
all
oh,
of that. It's lovely.
absolutely. Ah, there we go.
You look like you're wearing a down coat. Is it cold there?
Um, it's
Are you in winter?
well, we're in the middle of winter. Yeah, we are in the middle of winter. It's not, it's hot during the day and then gets cold at night.
Okay.
But
That's
I can
right.
probably, yeah.
We're going into spring finally, and I
Oh.
had to pull out my spring clothes. I keep a
You
limited
must show
wardrobe.
us.
Oh, I'm wearing a skirt.
A skirt, which is
A s-
what's a short and yeah.
yes, shorts and a skirt.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
but then, wick away so I can stay warm inside and then, cool outside. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So it's, yeah, the weather's been quite strange. I don't know if you're aware that, I mean, all our internet has been very, very unstable in
oh,
every
probably
country.
with the solar storms. The solar
I thought so,
storms
yeah. I
created
think,
havoc,
yeah, yeah.
especially for vulnerable systems. If your system is
Oh,
not real stable in the first place,
oh yeah,
the solar flares from last weekend, I know have created
yeah,
lots of problems.
yeah.
And we didn't
This
get to see
one,
the auroras because we had too much cloud cover,
Oh,
unfortunately. Buenos dias.
Buenos
buenos
días.
días, Juan, ¿cómo estás?
morning. Muy bien, gracias. ¿Cómo están todos
Mm.
ustedes?
Juan, do you know if David will join?
No,
No,
No.
David no va a estar en la reunión.
He's traveling, is he traveling now? I knew he was traveling
he's
this
traveling.
weekend,
Yeah,
but okay.
he is traveling.
Okay, so we are 6 minutes ahead, so we can start. You want to give us a prayer, Marta?
I will, certainly. Most High God of universes who indwells our human minds, thought adjuster ours, beloved eternal companion, beings of light, Makiventa Melchizedek, our planetary prince, Manjaranson, our magisterial son, Michael of Nebadan, whom we knew as Jesus of Nazareth when you walked amongst us, Mother Nebadonia, beings of light known and unknown to us, Sondjah Melchizedek, our guide and teacher, midwayers, angels of progress, all the angels around us and angelic beings who have the growth of our eternal souls as their concern. We greet you and we thank you for your presence. Please guide us today as we seek to find the most spiritually guided options for unfolding divine will on our planet at this time through this teaching mission incentive of family learning centers. Thank you for the incredible wisdom that has welled up inside our colleagues as they worked on this tree of 98 soul qualities, as I understand them. Please guide us today to see what else we should be including, what we're not seeing, what can be done better. We thank you for your presence within and without enveloping us, God of universes indwelling us. Please guide us in the unfolding of your will. We thank you. Amen.
Amén.
Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful words. We need this help. I don't know if Kona, you are connected to start, or it will come later as an introduction.
I checked in earlier with Sanjay. He's like, I'm with you always.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. But I don't feel a presence right now to give a word, but if I do, then I will let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I propose to start is to finish at least the 9 question of our questionnaire. Could cost us 15 minutes, and then we'll go on the tree of the syllabus. So let me share this with you. Sorry, sharing. Okay.
Thanks for keeping your mind together, Jacques. I'd forgotten about the 9 questions.
But you know what's happened to me is last time you told me please save it, and I say it's done. It was not correctly done. So
Okay.
I have to thanks, because everything is recorded. I have to retrieve it from the screenshot which were saved.
Yeah.
So I put this back. So question 1, we have it. So you remember what problem do people are looking to face? My family cannot teach good parenting, and so on. Training in parenting and family learning centers. These are the existing alternative.
Yeah.
Our solution is creating family learning center and or parenting that will include formal counseling inside. Indicators are short-term, long-term, and indicator. And the big one, of course, is sustainable and stable and sustainable family, and eco-conscious community or neighborhood that are sustainable. What our best value, of course, is we will use a best parenting practices from all culture. This will be a search, and we use value-based institution and decision making. We are unrepeatable simply because we are based and supported by conscious contact with celestial teaching on social sustainability for future era of this planet. This is something and then we stop here. So how do we stop at question 6 in May? So how do you reach your customer, and what are your channels to promote your solution? So I think we have, many have said, online platform, media, video, digital platform, booklet, website, Juan, social media. So I think social media is one item. I think so.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's on online platform. No, yeah. Kona?
I was just going to say, I love B's idea of the use of billboards, because even for Mission Urantia, one of the first things I really want to do when we get the funding, because billboards are quite expensive. In the United States, there used to be this, this campaign, Jesus saves, all of these things. And it's always about, getting yourself right with God. And I just want to do billboards that says, Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. God loves you. I want a massive billboard campaign that expresses the love of Christ Michael and Mother Nebudonia for people, because that's not been done by the church or these other groups. They've missed the
Yeah.
whole point that there's a love relationship between us and our first source and center. So I love the idea of the billboards, but I just wanted to say, God loves you, period.
But you put this on online platform.
Yeah, you can do it
On
online
on
too.
that platform.
Yes.
But
One simple message.
It would be wonderful. But it would be wonderful to have both billboards and online platforms. I think that it's a great idea to think about how widely can we do it in a way that's sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to buy the billboards ourselves to buy the land on which the billboard stands in order to sell it to ourselves.
Well, being a real estate agent, I don't know how it is in other countries, what the billboards are like, but most billboard owners, there's a license. They don't own the land. They have a license to put their billboard up on the land in which it stands, and they don't really care what you put on the billboard. They just want to sell the space.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
it's so you don't have to worry about buying the billboard or buying the land. You just have to be willing to pay the price for the space. So it's quite a complicated business, actually.
Yeah. I can understand. Yeah.
Do you have billboards in South Africa? Do they
We
use
do.
them a lot?
We do. I was just reminded of something I said today, which said, when you don't have to be the one who finds the gold, you have to be the one who sells the shovels. So it's just to remind one that often when money is to be made, the people who need the stuff to do the real digging for gold are the ones who make the money. Yes, no, we do have billboards.
But billboard for you is something linked with religion, or it's anything?
Oh no, anything.
Anything, yeah.
I guess it's just a presence in the in the city, something
Yeah.
that is clear and.
Yeah, we have to, but just for advertisement
Yeah.
on business only.
But it's interesting just thinking about the billboard and about Makiventa saying we are here and we have a plan. Even if
I
you
love
just
that.
have sentence, if Makiventa has access to the world through billboards.
Yes. And the website, and then include
the
website so that people
Absolutely.
can go.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So what was the question again? Can you quickly just take us back to the question? How do you reach your customers? So this is about family learning centers, but we're doing it in a much bigger teaching mission sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, at least Kona, you have followed my conversation with the Eurasia group, French group people, and it's still ongoing. But I can tell you, very, very, very difficult for them to believe that the message are coming daily. It's strange for me. But these people, they know the Eurasia book, but these people, if you put a billboard saying there is a plan now, we have a magisterial son ready to come if we do the job, but I'm not sure they will buy it. Huh?
So that's interesting that UB readers would not, but what about the general public who's looking for an answer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also think, sorry, Jacques, one thing. I think this is what you've just mentioned is really important. And that is, if we're trying to reach customers, define customer, but it's incredibly important that we have a message that does not alienate people. And I know, I mean, all of us, in all our families, who's going to believe that you're a TR Kona? Or, I mean, how do we couch the message in such a way that people can actually deeply feel it instead of being repelled by it and thinking, oh, crazy people?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that, because the son that I live with believes me. I mean, we're very close. And if I could have landed with any family member, he asked a simple question. Well, how is your life going to change now that you're doing that? And I'm like, I've really been doing this for 30 years. You guys, it's not public. I haven't had constant or conscious contact and then made the message public. So really the only difference is that. So I said, things are not going to change much, except the biggest change is I can't work a regular job. I've tried, I was going to, I put in an application and I was going to get a part-time job close to here. And I sat in the parking lot before going in, because I was supposed to go through orientation in a couple of days. And Spirit was very clear. I need you more than they do.
May I quickly just take a moment? Somebody needs to leave. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. So it's, the Spirit was clear. I was thinking, because I have a really strong spiritual presence when I'm with the public to positively impact people's lives, it's a form of ministry for me. And so when I, like I work in a coffee house. So when I'm serving coffee and I'm helping people have a good start to their day, I like helping people have a good start to their day. But I just heard clear Spirit say, I need you more than they do. And I'm like, okay. So, I've had to give up the idea of what it looks like to earn money in a job, a 9 to 5 or, whatever. So I work from home and I trust that my needs are provided for. And so far my sons have been doing well to help take care of me. I have minimal expenses. So, but yeah, is it about the TR? Or remember, Macaventa has told us that we all know the message, right? We know the plan. It's not about Macaventa telling us what we're going to put even on our website. He told us that in Mission Urantia in I think one of John's transmissions, that he's not going to say, this is what I want you to say. He's like, the message, right? Give the people the message that what it is. And so what's going to go on the billboard? Well, what do we know? We know we have a God that loves us. And so I see it like that. But you also raised a really good point, is who are the customers? And we should really define that. We should really define who it is that we think are the people that we're trying to reach. And that was part of the plan that David presented, is who is our audience. And the first group was UB and the UB community. The second was spiritually enlightened, or people that have an understanding of conscious contact, right? Spiritual, but not religious, maybe. And then his next group were young people, millennials and Gen Zs, and the young people that are looking for something other than what, the church or other religious groups have to offer. So when we think about that, and you think about your customer, then how are you going to reach those groups of people? Billboards, everybody drives almost, right? Or public transportation has billboards. I took public transportation in Atlanta for 2 years, and inside the buses and on the outside of the buses is billboard space. And there's messages, everything from lawyers to the garden community. You could do God loves you on the inside of a billboard in a bus, so there's buses, there's plane airports, there's bus stops. So there's all kinds of opportunity for that kind of billboard. It's not just driving down the road. So that's an interesting thing to think about.
So it's both who is our audience, sorry, I didn't, and also what exactly is our message, because as Kona just said, in a sense, the teaching mission has been telling us that our audience should be people under 25.
Really?
For the longest time, it's been repeatedly
I didn't know that.
saying we should focus our attention on those under 25 because they are the parents of the new generation and they're the most likely to benefit from what we have to say. So yes, of course we have all the other people, as you said, the Urantia community are people in their 70s and 80s. So really, we have those we are immediately connected to, which are the easy ones, but the ones we should be reaching are the ones under 25. So David's, David's proposal makes all the sense in the world, because how do we get hold of those who most are able to change?
Yeah.
And then
So
another, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, the curious thing about, you know, people under 25 is they're still young and pliable. They're not yet jaded, right? They have less opportunity to have had trauma in their lives that have caused them to be stuck in a certain way. So and we don't know, well, let's say under 25 means that they were born after the adjudication. So they have possibly and probably less of the influence of the rebellion in their biology than anybody born before them. So, you know, it's like, well, you know, why that age group? Well, there's, you know, there may be lots of reasons, but I think it would be important for us to remember those things as we tailor the message to them. Plus, you know, they're getting ready to be parents, as you say.
You said, Kona, people under 35 may have less influence.
25.
25.
Yeah.
Have left what?
Left, you say less influences.
Of the
Less
rebellion.
baggage. They have less trauma. You know, they've not been through the marriages and the divorces and child loss and, you know, losing family members and, you know, the devastation. So and that the caveat is it depends on the community, right? Because the children in Gaza are being devastated right now. The children in Darfur are being devastated yet again. And so it depends on where, but in your industrialized communities and nations, those are the people that have most likely had the least amount of trauma. By the time you're 35, 40, 45, right? We've had trauma. We have baggage. We have attitudes. We have, you know, fear. We have,
bias,
you know,
and so.
biases exactly from work or family or whatever, but under 25 they haven't had the opportunity to accumulate those.
Okay, so this is question 6. Okay, do we want to add something more, because advertising, social media, I think we have covered, where we say open billboard inside platform, website,
online,
of course, website.
And Juan, you have a lot of focus on the stories for young people, a focus on the story for each of those words and values.
Disculpe, Marta, un momento para que no. Dame un momento. Es que no consigo aquí la cuestión.
Oh, he's just looking for the question.
Sí.
En español. ¿Sí? ¿Cómo
Six.
vas a llegar a tus clientes? ¿Qué canales vas a utilizar para promover su solución?
And Juan said, yeah.
Me encanta mucho lo de las vallas publicitarias.
Okay.
Billboards.
bill.
También una plataforma por internet, página web, y
And
libros,
books.
libritos, folletos, em,
Small
películas,
books. Films.
em, y también la parte de redes sociales, muy importante. Tiene
Oh, social networks, yeah.
Yeah.
mucho más penetración que cualquier otra.
Yes, I think we have it here. Website.
And social networks. Yeah.
Okay.
So Juan wrote in his answer, like the community events and things like that. I think that in areas where there are community events and social gatherings on a regular basis, you could certainly share that information. But maybe Juan, if you can give us an idea of what you mean by local community events and workshops,
Yeah.
how that works.
Bueno, eventos comunitarios tienen mucho que ver con la cultura comunitaria, lo que se hace, las reuniones que se hacen en las comunidades, ya sea para formar cierta parte de gobierno local y también para, como lo hacen los representantes de los alumnos en las escuelas, que son como una sociedad que ayuda mucho a la escuela a surgir y a mantenerse. Eh, También se puede desarrollar por la parte cultural comunitaria, obras de teatro, eh, cortos de películas. Antes, aquí en Venezuela por lo menos, cuando el cine no era muy popular, llegaba y traían un cine a la localidad y todas las personas se reunían en la plaza y veían cine. Algo parecido a eso.
Hmm. I also, if I may add to that, what Juan is saying, in South Africa, when we had the Soccer World Cup in 2010, they had set up very large screens in small villages for people to watch. And afterwards, young entrepreneurs started taking favorite films to the communities as well. So I like that idea of Juan of taking films to communities. And we have discussed before the idea of using examples from world cinema of every word. For instance, today there appeared some kind of message on my phone saying that Nelson Mandela was the best example of forgiveness. Because not only did he forgive his actual jailers, but he forgave the Afrikaners, and he went to have tea with the wife of the architect of apartheid. So to use examples like that for young people would be so wonderful, to look in world cinema for each one of the 98 words and take a Chinese example, a Russian example, a Japanese example, Algerian, etc., so that we not only learn all of world cinema, but we learn those values as they are, because they're such simple values. They're in every single culture. And it will take them
It's a great idea.
Yeah, so if we concentrate on our first two lines, we say online platform, website on website. No, so online platform and website.
Billboards.
Billboards. This is an example.
Social networks.
A website is already mentioned.
Yeah.
We say social network, community events.
And cinema.
Example from world cinema. Yeah, examples from world cinema.
You know, it's interesting that you say that too. What it takes me back to my first my first degree is in theater. And it was a concentration of directing and video production. And the thing that I learned that has stuck with me the longest is the only difference between a religious liturgy and theater is the intent. They both have all the same elements, right? But the reason why they used theater in the ancient world, even before, what we know is theater now, they used it in the ancient world to tell stories because they were not literate. And so when you're dealing with communities, impoverished communities, they can learn by the example of the cinema, whatever, we're giving them. And so it's a universal language. The cinema is a universal language where words is dependent on whether you have the education, whether you have the knowledge, or if it's even in your own language. So doing the cinema like that, and the clips that we create from cinema can be put online in the website. Pieces can be put on the billboards, significant moments in that cinematic thing, and taken to community events. So, if we were to concentrate on that, finding the examples from world cinema, people can relate to the stories. It's a great idea.
And I have seen the podcast from Donna Dingilo. She managed very well to promote the book, and also she speaks very well about the Ancien book as well. And so postcard, but this is a social network. But still, it's very, I think, I found it very powerful in US compared to Europe or in France. I don't have the same type of channel here. But
explain that, Jacques. Sorry, could you explain that?
Donna Dingilo she made several interviews with some very professional, let's say, I don't know you call them
interviewer,
but it is on podcast.
Podcasts.
Yeah, it lasts 1 hour usually. So it's she's interviewed, and it's very, very interesting. And when I would say these people have a YouTube channel with million of, or let's say thousand upon thousand of people followers, that's very good.
But not in Europe. You're saying in Europe it is more difficult?
I don't know. I've never seen, let's say, the same, I would say, spirituality channel here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's you have more in your head than we have in Europe.
Okay.
Yes, Kona?
It's interesting that you bring that up. I don't know if you know, I'm on Donna's board, and I'm helping her develop and expand her reach. So she has the podcasts, and since the podcasts, she has doubled the viewership per week on her website. She was like at 350 a couple weeks ago, and when we checked this week, she was at over 650 new views on her website in 1 week. So the podcasts are powerful. Yes, the podcasts are powerful. And so we're streamlining all of her ministry so to capture those people that are coming to the website so that she can stay in touch with them. Beautiful. And that's, trying to do the same thing with Mission Urantia. So the podcasts, yes, are very powerful. The key is getting to the right audience, the podcast with the right audience who's receptive to the message.
Yeah.
Yes, but we can rely also on the spiritual administration, because Mother Nebadonia, the spirit circuit are very active, and the angels are very active, and people are directive. It's why I told to the people who wrote to me from the Urantia community, I said to them, why are you asking me question without copying without copying the community. They address me directly. Why this channel? How does it come from? And so on. So these people, I know, they are directed by their thought adjuster and their angels. And it is the same for donor, because the book is very important for the world.
Yes.
So we do our part. The celestial do the rest. This is my view.
Absolutely.
May I just mention, I'm going to show you something. We had an event last week in South Africa on peace, but I just want to, it was the 11th, and I decided that this was a moment to
Oh, wow.
So we have 11:11 angel time. And
on
then,
May the 11th.
And then just say,
providing time for divine guidance. I love that.
So we actually did that, and I didn't do it. The person who was the facilitator of that session did it so beautifully and put everybody through a meditation, and at 11:11 asked them to ask for divine guidance. So it was really special.
Wow, I love that.
Okay, so I think if you agree, we have completed, I think, with our lines here, the question 6.
Should we just, can we just fix the baggages? The baggage, BAGGAGES.
Sorry, where you are?
At last, the last, the second last red line. Yeah, after traumas.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
traumas,
biases. That's biases.
So it's just BIA. So it's just to change that.
Yeah, yes. Okay, good.
Thank you. I also just wanted to mention that in 2 trainings I've been in the last month, they've used theater to teach. And but basically just saying to 4 people, come to the front, play out the scene. We're talking about elections, and they'd say, somebody from the opposite political party has pulled down all your posters. How are you going to manage it? Because we're also teaching conflict resolution and mediation. And it was amazing because they didn't expect anybody to read anything. People were only expected to learn by 4 members of the group play acting for them. And I thought that was so powerful. You don't need a book, you don't need anything. What can't be taught by play acting was not being taught. So powerful.
It is. Thank you for that. And there's also there's a space after customers that needs to go away.
This customer?
Oh yeah, just it's before the question mark. You can just before the question.
There you go. And audiences,
audience
too, yeah.
This is US.
And the same with message. Yeah, I guess they just don't want
yeah. Okay.
7.
7. Okay. Source of income. I think we have many times donation, co-founding, fees of membership. I put here billionaire, I remember, because that was why not? Huh?
I was thinking this
is Daniel.
Yes, is Daniel. But I was thinking about 2 things, both Bill Gates and his wife, who was just separated from the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation this week, are possible people. I'm not sure, but I think we need to put together a proposal. And we also later on need to discuss how will this Friday's group and Daniel's work on planetary management at university level fit into the overall plan that David has presented. Because
yeah, sure. I have seen a document on TV explaining that billionaire in US, not in Europe, but in US, some people now, they look on how to give their money for useful purposes.
Yeah.
And this is a tendency now. And they are grouped together. I don't remember the name of this group, but they are billionaire grouped together to give back money to people.
Mm.
to educate people. So
Yeah.
this is makes sense, huh? Billionaire.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I work with groups like Mission Urantia, and I've worked with ministries, is to create a solid working business structure so that when they do grant writing, they have everything in place to appeal to people with money or organizations with money, because what they're looking for is that the organization is solid, has good financial management, knows how to create a plan or a program and execute it, and will track the resources. So that's why I try to make sure that everything, all the foundation is solid, legal, your bylaws are solid, your policies and procedures are solid, because that's what organizations who want to fund you are looking for.
Can you
So-
see that Juan here has put
Yeah.
a lot of really interesting business related income sources?
Mm-hmm.
Merchandise, Makiventa t-shirts.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great idea.
I also think it's a great idea. Even consultation fees for personalized family counseling sessions, because people will need to be trained in order to become consultants.
Mm-hmm.
But this is part of the fees and more. This is this one as well, huh? Fees or membership.
Yeah.
So where do we start to put some red here? Be donation. So
I was just, can we go to the question? Can you please show us the question again?
What
Okay,
what are your
sources
sources?
of income?
Okay, so I'll take some red
Can
here.
we look at what the other question, what the last two questions are? Because I have a question about this question that I want to ask, but it depends on the last two questions.
So the last two questions
are customer segmentation, which we've talked about.
Yeah, and cost.
What are your costs?
Okay, yeah,
So
budget, yeah. So
okay. So my question to add to this is not just what are your sources of income, but how do you make your organization socially sustainable? Because your sources of income, you need to be able to be sustainable, and that cannot depend on donations and or grants or billionaires. You have to have a way to have an income stream so that you know that you're a viable organization. I mean, grants are good short term. Billionaires are great to help you get started. But what is your regular funding source? Like, so your organization, Martha, how do you guys get your funding?
Okay, so we've been funded for 20 years by different funders, at times without without regular funding. We're just about to start a fund, our own impact fund, which we hope will provide the funds long term. But we've had to ask for all the money we've had. Luckily, we've had angels behind us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. It makes it hard.
Yeah. Except that I do believe that what they always say, people, money follows good ideas. So as you said, people are always looking to use their money in a way that might change the world. Yeah.
Mm.
But
So
certainly.
This is a prerequisite, I would say, sustainable organization. But so we say investor fees.
Is it
or membership?
Is it viable to say we will survive on fees? Can individuals and will individuals buy our services?
Those who have the resources can, but so for instance, in my design thinking class, we have 4 projects. one project is she's a woman that works in low income housing. And what she was wanting to do is to provide, to help provide the people that live in the low income housing the resources to help them get out of low income housing. What they discovered in this design process is that all the resources are there, but what was missing is the one-on-one mentorship or tutoring to individuals to help them connect and know how to use the resources. So she introduced a life coach who is working on a volunteer basis and bringing individuals life coaching to help them realize there's another way of living. So she found volunteers, and then at the end of the presentation, because we had our presentations this week, she drew up the plan of what it would cost to pay the life coaches so that she could look for funding for expanding the program. So fees work if you have people that can pay for them, but if they don't have the money to pay for them, then you need to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
And she did an amazing job. They went from thinking, well, maybe we'll just create a resource book. Well, those exist, but the life coach is brilliant. Providing a life coach is brilliant.
It's so interesting because we are all indwelt by a life coach. I mean, it is the major method by which the universe operates. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to ask for it. I think this is a key. If you don't ask, nothing really happens. Or it happens, but less than it could be. Okay, so fees, we keep it. We say co-funding from university, but it could be also from university and billionaire.
Yes. Yeah.
And a billionaire is like an investor. You can do investors. It's not just investors, but typically angel investors. They're and some investors are looking for they're looking for a return on their investment. Angel investors are looking on a social return.
Yeah.
You can put it at the bottom, the angel investors, where it already says investors, because then also, and seed capital, should we say angel investors and seed capital?
That's a good point.
Because I thought if we need $500,000 a year, which I think is what it will cost to start, $500,000. Imagine somebody saying, here's 10 million, invest it and make yourself sustainable. And it costs the same to ask for 1 million or 100,000 as it does to ask for 10 million.
It does.
So it makes sense to ask for 10 million.
So Mark,
Juan?
you want me to write investor seeds?
Seed capital? Juan's hand is up.
Seed like this?
Angel investors and seed capital. Okay. So put angel in front of investors.
Yeah. And Juan's hand is up.
Sí. Yo considero que el conocimiento y la espiritualidad es libre, es para todo el mundo. Y nadie tiene que recibir espiritualidad o enseñanza a cambio de un precio. Yo creo que eso debe ser gratuito. Por lo que considero que los fees y los memberships no deben ir con nosotros porque ya es algo como que le estamos cobrando a la gente por aprender algo que nos conviene que aprenda. Y yo eliminaría fees y memberships.
So
me quedaría más bien con la forma esa de tener mercancía para que la gente, si lo quiere comprar, la compra, pero no es obligatorio. Es su libre albedrío.
That's a very good point that Juan is mentioning, that we shouldn't have to pay for spiritual knowledge that's been given to us for free. And that we should take then tuition fees out and fees or membership, take it out.
I agree. I think that's why we didn't go with memberships with Mission Urantia and
Yeah,
fees.
Yeah, let's take that out. So we can take that whole line out. Jacques,
This, which
Yes.
the
one?
fees or membership.
Yeah, but I keep just the red one. I keep the rest for memory
Right,
okay.
right,
Oh,
right.
in the
Okay.
file. No, what
And the
is red?
same with.
Yeah.
Okay. But then so maybe just say no fees. Maybe say in red no fees or
Okay.
tuition.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
that's clear. Spiritual knowledge is, yeah.
Yes. Okay. This is a bracket. Okay.
I like your crowdfunding, Jacques.
Crowdfunding.
Yeah, crowdfunding,
Only from royal
crowdfunding.
families. Only from royal families.
Oh, this one.
I'm not sure that I like the crowdfunding, or not like, but I'm wondering if it, I don't know, it seems both unsustainable, and I think somebody could help pay for this. I think that what we're suggesting is so transformative that it shouldn't just depend on individuals liking it and paying for it, but that it should have serious money behind it. I'm not sure what you think.
Well, what was your idea, Jacques, behind crowdfunding?
It's you can launch let's say, because we want a sustainable organization. Some people who have money can say, okay, I accept, I love this idea, and I will give some money to promote this idea.
So it's a
You know?
way for people with less money to participate in funding something.
Well, okay.
Yeah, they can give what they want, but
Mhm.
the idea is they participate to the grand purpose, and they say this is a good idea.
Which they're already able to do, for instance, for Mission Urantia, so one could do the same. Yeah.
So this is a good writing, crown.
Yeah.
It's
It's with a D.
CROWD instead of the N.
Wait, something was wrong for me.
There you go.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay, and I put it
Gotcha.
somewhere here at the end.
Sure.
Yeah, with that, yeah.
That's those are like investors.
Yeah.
They're yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So then maybe we should say angel and crowdfunding investors, because now we've got them. Can we put your
Yeah.
yeah, so after, okay. But you should put in the investors after angel investors, the investors that you have before the bracket. Okay. No, that's fine. We're just repeating it.
And
Okay.
I remove this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then remove the S
There
the
you go.
angel. Just one angel investor.
Angel investor, crowdfunding, and I keep seed.
And then yes, comma, seed capital. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
because those are all possibilities. Okay.
And
Okay.
take away the last parentheses.
Well, yes.
Take away the last.
Take away the correct and the comma. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right, what else
So
do we have?
we have done the 7.
Yep.
6
Let's go to
done.
8.
We are go to 8 now. Customer segmentation. Okay.
I would maybe say after number B, especially under age 25.
Mhm.
After 2B, especially those under age 25, after parents.
Because that's what we talked about before.
You think so? It's just this because here, for example, you said age 12, which makes sense for me. Huh?
Well, I'm saying, but under 25, so it can be 12.
For the parents, Jacques.
Wait.
Parents and parents to be. Oh no, it's under. It should be under after parents to be.
Okay.
So take under age 25 and put it at the end of that sentence. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect. And you're going to make it
Red.
red, yeah?
Okay. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, not bold. Anyway.
So at what age will children be able to understand these messages?
Very early, in my view. Very early.
Mm-hmm.
I see my grandson at age 8. You can tell them some, I would say, item of the syllabus. Sharing things, because if you wait 25, you will lose many things.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Well, I'm thinking that toddlers begin to have a concept of retaining relationships somewhere between 2 and 3. Like infants are attached to their mom. They know their parents' voices and smells and facial expressions. But when other people or things are introduced and taken away, they don't retain any memory of them until like about age 2. So the toddler is the one who begins to retain the information. So I would think that beginning with toddlers in the family learning center to help teach them alongside their parents.
But age, so toddlers is for you age 3 and
Around
above?
18 months to 2 years. 18 months to 2 years is that. So I would say toddlers and up.
Okay.
Toddlers and up.
Ouais.
It's TODD, double D, instead of the L.
Oh, yes.
Toddlers.
Take the first L out. There you go. Perfect.
So
toddlers and up.
Parents, grandparents. Okay.
Oui, of course, of course.
And then
grandparents and or caretakers. I mean, you might have a foster parent, right? Or an aunt or an uncle.
Juan
has this, yeah.
Yes, Juan.
Se ha demostrado científicamente que que el lapso prenatal es muy importante para el futuro ser que va a ser un ser humano. Habríamos que introducir también ahí a las mujeres que están en estado de
embarazadas
para programas de concientización, de estímulo al feto, y etcétera, etcétera. Yo creo que esa parte también es muy importante, que va a abrir mucho más el campo para que se produzca un mejor ser humano.
It was badly translated, but he was saying that science has shown that the pre-birth time is really important.
But this is covered by parent-to-be for me. Yeah.
Okay, you'd say pregnant women, maybe say and pregnant women. That's it.
No.
It's with an E.
PRE. PRE, there you go.
Woman.
And pregnant women. Perfect.
We still keep under age 25 for everything.
But maybe we should say, yeah, all pregnant women. Okay. Okay, parents to be underage and then pregnant, and then all pregnant women. Maybe we should. And put that after age 25.
Yeah.
Can we take the whole pregnant women, copy and paste, and put it under age 25? Put it under age 25.
After,
and then we
put it after.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we say, and all pregnant women.
Pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
On parent, caretaker.
No space between grand and parents.
No space.
No
Grands-parents,
space. There you go.
parents,
Caretaker
word
is the
as
same?
French. Caretakers, we can also make one, yeah.
Okay. Okay, I need to save, huh?
Yeah.
Ouais.
Uh,
Okay, so boy, university age, ouais. School teachers. When we say school teachers, university lecturers, I mean it's all parent and grandparent.
yeah.
Oh,
But I think it's a special category of people
yeah.
who work with young people.
So
And I don't know
so
how to
okay.
say that.
What
Okay.
was your thought there, Martha, with the
Sorry?
school teachers and you? What was your thought with the school teachers and university lecturers?
Is that obviously they are the ones who have access to young people. Can they be taught to enhance their own engagement with young people?
Ouais, ouais. Oui,
Okay.
because if they are not parent, not grandparent,
Yeah.
they are excluded. Okay. Okay.
Should we go down and see? Are you making it red? Oh, to the grave. There we are.
Ouais.
Okay, well done. So that's the same preconception one. That's what Jacques Juan said.
Yeah.
Okay.
That word underlined until should be
L.
instill. 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 INS.
Just S up to the N. Yeah. And another L.
And then another L at the end.
At the
Instill.
end. Okay. Okay. To instill. Oh yeah, instill. Okay. I understand. Sustainable. Okay, Geoff. And that's the last question. What are your costs? Sorry. I think we have David made best practices, all the research plus the platform, development center. Oh. Doing the survey, development costs.
So I'm going to post in chat what your basic costs are for a building so that you can add this to the list, because I don't see that anybody has done this. Okay, so
in the chat. Okay. When I can. Oh, okay.
so I'm just
chat.
gonna.
Okay, sorry. So you.
So
you said building capital to build.
Yep, you have to, before either you have to build a building or you have to take a building and you have to restructure it for the use if you can't find one. So building capital is one, but then even if you start with the building, you have maintenance, you have utilities, you have licenses and fees to make sure that the building is in conformity with your local governmental standards. You're going to have your supplies in there. You're going to have.
May I just suggest, I've been working in an organization for 20 years, the same organization. We don't have our own building. We have offices in the local government organization for which we do not pay, which they give to us for free. So we should also think about finding, and we also have partnerships with universities, which allow us to do events for free. So I think we should create MOUs, memorandums of understanding with universities, especially linked to the planetary management goal, because learning centers really is one part of planetary management. And if it can become clear, or if we can write a proposal so well that we can engage all universities at all levels, be it in their early childhood education or in their whatever, but I think we should think very clearly about how to use existing resources rather than starting our own.
Sure. So you can do all of that or free space with other organizations.
Yeah.
You say all that or
Or the
Or
very
you-
last thing I put, free space with other organizations.
Yeah.
Because then they cover all of your licenses, they cover your utilities, they cover all of the things that you have to do. I mean, I've worked with a couple of different organizations. One, we've, built plans from scratch where we're building everything and then also having a school inside of an existing. And sometimes you can get that for free and sometimes you pay like a reduced rent. We've had to do both. So, all different kinds of possibilities. And then you have to also consider whether or not your teachers' salaries, if you're going to have, Martha, I'm sure you have some sort of a salary, right?
I do have a salary, yes.
Right.
Yeah, so you absolutely. So I think the major cost of any organization is the salary it pays its worker. Yeah. Maybe Jacques, if you can just put or after the word or, put free space.
Yeah.
Free space or free space.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's part of or. It must go directly after
OR
the
with or for free space for organizations.
Or free space. So just
Next
after
line
the word or, under or,
So
take away that open space, and then or stays, put with or free space with other organizations, or free space.
Oh wait.
Yeah. And then with can be small and other can without the S, just with other organizations. There we go. And then we can take away the space above it.
Okay.
And we can say MOU with universities, which is a memorandum of understanding.
Or free space with other
There you
organization.
go.
And after MOU, if we can just write with universities rather than for, with the word with, WITH, Perfect. Okay.
And then Juan.
All the rest is in a red, like this?
Wait. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then Juan, I don't, if you could translate Juan's comment. Translate Juan's comment in chat.
Hay una parte muy importante que es la formación de los docentes. Eso es también parte de los
teachers. Docentes and teachers, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Training the teachers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Training the teachers, yeah. Very important.
Yeah.
Also, because Sondjah explained to us in the last one that I was present, that we ourselves are being trained by them because we don't know everything we need to have.
Yeah.
So training the administrators.
So we can say teachers and administrators, training the teachers and administrators. And I like this because Jesus is also a universe administrator.
Yes. Juan. Yes.
Hay otra parte importante que es el personal técnico. Porque no todo el mundo es ducho en tecnología.
This is maintenance.
Necesita personal técnico para que opere esa parte.
No. After administrators.
Yeah.
Estoy de acuerdo, Juan. ¿Estás de acuerdo? And technical personnel.
Sí, exactamente. Personal técnico.
I put it in chat too.
Oh, look. David also has it. Technical staff, webmaster, marketing. Okay. Yeah.
Marketing or.
Yeah, and there might be travel.
You see, Jeff has it very well. You can see that he's running his own company. exactly what you've said, Kona.
Mhm.
Small corporate professional utilises transport. Ouais.
Those, yeah, we can put that. We can, yeah. Because he also has outreach.
Outreach as well?
Mhm.
It's to bring
Oh.
people to you, to go out to people and share your message with them.
Okay.
Like billboards is one way of outreach.
Yeah.
The other one is to stand on a soapbox in the middle of the town and speak to people.
Mhm.
Okay.
David will be so happy we finished his 9 questions.
I need to save
I
it.
I think we need about 500,000 US dollars a year. I do. I think it will cost about that. And I think we should go out and ask for a 10 million endowment until obviously we will need to have a proposal that's strong enough to attract 10 million. It could get 10 angel investors of 1 million each.
Do you think that we need one working facility to demonstrate before we ask to fund 20?
We need to have finished. I'm finished now. We need to have a better idea of where we go. Now we could not ask at this time, I think, though. It's too early. We need to go to dig a little bit more our program. What?
Typically, you want to demonstrate that one works before you try to have 20.
Oh, true. Yes, before you upscale. But
Yes.
we are asking for research funds.
Yeah.
We're saying, even if it takes us 2 years, remember, David has made it very clear what we need to achieve in the next 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we need funds to allow us to get to that, so we can't wait. We can't have no funds while we implement. We need
True,
piloting.
but I
We
don't
need
think the
pilot.
research phase is not $500,000 worth, depending on how many of us there are working full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if we want to look at what are our costs, what would be, when we talk about salaries, who here is ready to work full, if the money were here and it's not a problem, who here needs a full-time salary and was willing to do 30 to 40 hours a week? I mean, I certainly have the open schedule for that, but Martha, I don't know that you would lead Saweed, would you?
I might, and I guess the whole point is what are we trying to achieve? But absolutely, and the point is, who are we talking about? Are we talking about the 4, 5, 10 of us? Are we talking about the Mission Urantia and all those people? Are we talking about Daniel, Raphael, and Byron? So it is really important to say, what is the big picture? And will the big picture include all those people? Because in my sense, it has to. It has to include all the people who feel called to do this work. Can we have a big enough picture to incorporate all of that?
Of course. You
Yeah.
just have to know who it is that's wanting to do that, what their time commitment is.
Yeah.
Because it's unreasonable to consider people. So just like Jeff says, I've got a pension, I don't want any money, right? Well, I don't have a pension.
Yeah.
I don't have a pension to live on. I have, but
Yeah.
what David and I talked about with regards to salaries is a new paradigm where you're paying people a reasonable living, but not at the salary base perhaps that the world is paying right now, because that's
Yeah.
unsustainable.
Yeah.
So we're looking at creating a new paradigm in our organization where people are paid to have a quality of life, but it's not going to be at an unreasonable, unsustainable salary base that we see, let's say, in the United States. Because he asked me, well, you know, if you were doing this, you know, full time in the United States, what's your salary? Well, where I live, it's about $215,000 a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's unreasonable for me to ask for $215,000 a year to do the work that I'm doing with Mission Urantia. Under the circumstances, I don't need that much money. I need a much smaller amount to live on. And the poverty level, let's say, is right around $37,000 to $40,000 a year. That's what the government considers a base amount in order to be sustainable. So that's reasonable. I have no debt except for student loans. I'm not trying to get rich off the work that I do. I just want to live into the values that we have, which is to have a quality of life, health insurance, food, you know, things like that. So when we look at salaries, you know, we have to really think, well, how are we going to determine what that is? What is our value system? What does it take to have, you know, a sustainable salary base for each of the people involved? Who are they and what are they going to be doing?
And if I may just add to that, I think we're also sitting with that issue here in South Africa is how to remunerate people who are doing work per hour. If you have an hourly rate, if you say to somebody, if you're willing to give 40 hours a week, this is the rate we'll pay everybody. And I understand that a boss an executive manager might need to be paid more. But anybody else who then does 5 hours of work would have access to the 5 hours of work. So I think it's really important to honor, and I think African women feel very strongly about that, because for so long their work, was not remunerated. So I think it's important that you have both a baseline that says everybody will get paid this for 40 hours. There is an executive position that might reach more. And then there's an hourly rate for anybody who does work related to that. So those things are things that I think we have to discuss. And also, how big is the organization? Is it Friday's team? Is it Mission Urantia? Is it,
Both.
all the people outside? Yeah.
Agreed.
Maybe discuss that now, is what our understanding is, because who else is part of this?
Right. Well,
Who's
this
not
group,
in the room? Yes.
right. This group came out of CTAG and so did Mission Urantia, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think, that's why David has been, I've been thinking about it, but David was bold enough to finally ask the question, the elephant in the room. What are our thoughts about this organization? I mean, the amount of work that you guys are putting into research, it's valuable work that needs to be done. So if you need compensation or wanted compensation in order to continue the work, it's a reasonable ask.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to cost that, because this is the work that needs doing, that our angels, the celestials, need to know what it costs to work with humans, with mortals.
Right. And they've said that they'll provide for us. They just need to know what the numbers are. The angels have always been very specific with me. Personally, they'll say, you need to write your budget so we know how much to give you. So I have to write out what my needs are, for the period of time. And when that changes, then I write out a new budget. And then they supply my needs from various locations. It doesn't have to be a 9-to-5 job, but they're very specific. What are your needs? And so, that's why the question, what are your cost, fixed and variable? It's not just about, well, let's put the things that we know, but then what is it going to cost? What is it going to cost? What is it going to cost to pay? And the biggest one for us right now are salaries, because we're working to build an organization.
Yeah.
And I don't know, is there any other UB organization that is a functioning nonprofit organization to the degree that we're trying to become with Mission Urantia? Does that exist anywhere else?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Maybe Byron knows.
Yeah.
I don't think it is from what I understand, because the challenge that we're having right now is a paradigm shift where people believe all the spiritual work needs to be done for free. And that's unreasonable ask, because there's not one, let's say, organized church with a church building where the building is completely free and everybody that works in the building and takes care of the building works for free. I mean, in some very poor locations, probably, but you have paid staff. I mean, even the Old Testament, the Levites received from the people. They couldn't own any land. They couldn't own any houses. You tithe to the Levites, who then tithe to the high priest. You know, there's a pattern in the world of taking care of those who take care of ministry. So it's not an unreasonable ask. And I don't know why it's been such a big deal in the Urantia movement to have an organization that is really doing the work of the Celestials and has paid staff. It's mind-blowing to me, because I've been doing ministry work for over 30 years with paid staff.
For instance, I think that too, at the moment, I was just working out my own salary, which has just been reduced by a considerable sum because I have a new boss. But I think that $2,000 a month is a reasonable amount. I mean, I think between 2,000 and 3,000 seems, well, I mean, in South Africa, I'm not sure.
Is that US dollars?
Is that US dollars? So I'm saying between 2,000 and 3,000 US dollars. And then based on that also work, I mean, people have to decide, but also then working out, I think we should come up with a suggestion per hour as well, to say this is what full-time costs are, this is what hourly costs are, and find a way to pay all of those doing the work that needs to be done. And say, first we have to say, this is the work that needs to be done, and identify the costs of that work and have people come and do that work and get paid for those units of work. That seems to be a useful way to do it, rather than just say, well, so it's basically income generation rather than job creation. Where a unit costs this much, you come and do the work, you get the money tied to that unit.
You know, Martha, what you said, between 2,000, 3,000 USD per month, that's okay. It's okay as an income, but it's a net income.
Yeah.
In France, after taxes, that's the thing, because here taxes are quite high. I don't know, in US it should be nearly the same.
Ours is about 30 as well.
Yeah. So you have 30% more and maybe 40% more if you take all the taxes.
So there's two thoughts on that from an HR perspective. If you do a majority of your work on your own schedule, then you're an independent contractor and you become responsible for your own taxes. That still needs to be figured into what you charge. With all of us in different time zones, it would be very difficult for us to have a work day together. So the likelihood that we would be employees is probably pretty slim.
Yep.
We would have meeting times,
contractors.
Right, meeting times, and then you do your work, your independent work in between meeting times where we come back. That is the most reasonable solution under the circumstances. Now that becomes very different when you have one location. Let's say we open the First Family Learning Center and you have staff there, right? Regular staff. Then it's more like what you're experiencing with Saweed. You know, you have that, then they become employees. So that's a different thing. But in the growth stage of building this organization, it's most likely that we would be independent contractors.
Yeah. So I think that's important to write there. Salaries, and then / after salaries, independent contractors.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's a very wise independent, perfect contractors. I think that's a wise way to go, And also hourly rates for volunteers,
Yes.
you know,
Hourly rates.
Yeah, we can just put there /hourly rates, because I think that's very fair.
And that goes under independent contractors, because independent contractors, you know, they can work 5 hours, they can work 10 hours, they, you know, et cetera. So Juan has his hand up.
Yes, Juan.
You're
Oh, your
muted,
sound
Juan.
is off. Juan, estás?
Ok, gracias. Observando esto de una forma macro, yo lo veo de la siguiente manera. Esta parte tendría que ser gradual, por etapas, de acuerdo a cómo vaya creciendo la organización. Recuerde que Jesús enseñaba en las plazas, en el campo, en cualquier lado, abierto. Y pocas veces lo hacía en iglesias, solamente cuando le daban la autorización. De resto, él nunca se detuvo al sitio. Creo que inicialmente deberíamos contar con la formación de docentes, su manutención y de paso lo que se llaman los gastos personales de traslado, de alquilar de repente una sala de cine para alguna cuestión. Pero ya comenzar con una organización totalmente formada, yo creo que es como las semillas. Los árboles comienzan por las semillas, se van haciendo las raíces, sale el tronco, salen las primeras hojas, después el tronco y se hace. Y creo que podría ser más viable trabajar con las personas en sí que con las cosas. No sé si este comentario pudiera servir, en mi opinión.
Can I ask for a clarification, Juan? I understood your whole idea of saying start small, wait for things to grow. You said in the end, it's better to work with people than with things. What did you mean there with that?
Primero, formar a los que van a enseñar, porque esa es la base sobre la cual vamos a construir los centros de familia sostenible. Si no
The
tenemos
teachers.
quien enseñe,
Train the teachers. Training the teachers,
si,
yeah?
si no tengo que enseñe, no, ¿para qué nos sirve un edificio? ¿Para qué nos sirve tener
Okay. Oh, rather than the buildings. I see what you say. Before you get a building, train the teachers. Yeah, I get that. You get that?
Esa persona que sabe muy bien formado, claro, es una persona muy bien filtrada, que sepa del trabajo que hacemos, que esté de acuerdo con el trabajo que hacemos, que no se vaya a poner como una obstrucción después. Formarla muy bien para que empiece a enseñar en los sitios que él pueda en ese momento, no como un predicador, no. Todo muy bien organizado, todo muy bien organizado. Se le hace la invitación a las personas para que asistan, cuestión libremente. Pero esa persona tiene que estar tiene que comer, vestir, para dedicarle tiempo completo a esa labor.
Can you translate, Martha? That translation did not come through very well.
Yeah. So he was basically saying, so the first point I think he makes clearly is that just like Jesus taught under the trees, sometimes by invitation in churches, that we shouldn't look to start with the things or the buildings. We shouldn't start with, you know, what did David call it? Web and bricks and
mortar.
Bricks and clicks.
Bricks and clicks, yes.
So don't start with the bricks, start with the people who need to be trained. So you will put all your emphasis on training the people, which obviously can be done without a bricks and mortar building. But these people will also have to have their needs met because they will need to have to get dressed and eat, etc. Yeah, so he's just saying, let us not start with all the infrastructure. Let's focus on the, hi, Alexander, welcome back, my boy. You want to say hi? Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
Alexander.
Bonjour.
There's a face.
Hello.
Okay. That's quick. Welcome back. Hi, sweet. Okay. So I like what Juan is saying, is just to remind us, let's deal with the people who need to be trained to teach and what their needs are. Pero Juan, no has dicho cómo vamos a decidir qué son las necesidades de ellos.
Exactamente. Como los salarios independientes, la parte de salarios, contractors, independent contractors, hourly rates, algo así parecido.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just saying, so not just us in a building, but let's start with the teachers to be trained and what their salaries need to be.
Okay.
So the other part of this is that just like in David's plan, you have your first year, your second year, your 3 through 5, and your 5 through 15. Not all of this is going to be applicable in the first year. Like, we don't have a building.
Yeah.
But we definitely have the research and the foundation that needs to be laid for the organization. We have the marketing, we have the website, we have the clicks, we have the development of the syllabus. So in the first year, what does it cost us to put these things in place? And then once those things are in place, what is our cost in the second year? And then once those things are in place, what is our cost in the third year? So the cost, what we're saying is this is the cost for everything, but we really need to segment it according to the plan. And I think we'll get to that with David eventually.
Yes, Juan.
Sí, muy de acuerdo con Kona. Sí, es muy bueno tener las fotografías de cada segmento para saber a qué nos vamos a enfrentar. Es muy importante esa parte.
Can you translate that?
Oh, he was just saying he agrees with you that it's very important to get the segmentation so that we know what to do bit by bit.
Right.
If I may just quickly say something, and I'm smiling at the angels because I suddenly thought, duh, I've been working for Sawit for 20 years. When the women first came together in 2003, they said, we are still too poor to participate in this new democracy. Then somebody said, go to Chile and Tunisia. They are the only 2 countries in the world who have managed to halve poverty, which was then a Millennium Development Goal. So we went to Chile and Tunisia in September 2006, and we saw the Chilean model, and we came back to South Africa, and we piloted it. But before we could pilot it, because Chile had a family development model, which is a world best practice, before we piloted it, we had to write a new syllabus for the teaching of social auxiliary workers, which were like baby social workers. Later on, we piloted this, so we spent 2 years writing a curriculum, getting all the social workers to sit down, getting funding from the Health and Welfare Sector Educational Authority. Later on, after we had trained 81 young men and women, recruited them, trained them, sent them into families to pilot this. It was taken over and made a family development worker model. We are now waiting for elections at the end of this month in order to take this model back to government, because we don't know who the government will be. So I suddenly, when you were speaking, I thought, but Saweet has been through all of this. We did set up, we got offices in other major development organizations, but we did exactly this. We spent 2 years writing a syllabus. We tweaked it. We got the funding for it. It all just went slowly, bit by bit. Nobody knew what was going to happen. And we're planning to take it back to government. But I just thought we've actually done this. So it made me happy to see you
Right. So
talk.
you understand the model that I'm suggesting is that it comes in
Absolutely.
pieces. Yeah.
It comes
And that's
in
what
pieces.
David wrote into his plan beautifully.
You do one piece at a time and you ask
Yeah.
God, what's next? What's next?
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We did the 9 questions.
Yes, it's done. What time now? 40. We have 20 minutes left. Let me. Oops. Okay.
Just don't lose it.
So, okay. The next
Yes,
one
let's
is,
save it. Please save it. Please save it.
yeah, it's normally to,
Jacques, may I
yes.
also ask you, because I've been neglecting my work, I confess. You've been doing very beautifully by sending us 9-page summaries.
Yeah.
How did you do your 9-page summary that you've asked me to edit?
I use the file I saved from Juan and David.
Yeah.
It's a text file. I copy it in a notepad, copy it in a Word, end up with 140 pages. And yes, but then no, because there is a lot of spaces. Huh? And I try to remember what we have said and to keep let's say, the most important text. It cost me, yeah, sometimes, yeah.
How much? 9 hours? It used to take me 9 hours or 10 hours to do that.
Yes, not far from. Not far
Okay,
from.
so you
Yeah,
are doing what?
maybe 6 hours. Yeah, maybe
Wow.
6 hours. But I
And
think
I
it's
haven't had
important. No, but I think it's important to do it because otherwise, video is okay, but the summary is good to retrieve it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. We have done this part, unless Sondjah has some
Let me get
interim.
quiet and see.
Yeah, interim, because we are at 41 now.
Sure. Let me check in. All I'm getting is that the work is good and I don't have anything to add. Sondjah doesn't have anything to say, but just that the work has been very good. So affirming, but no specific TR. How's that?
Okay. So this was on the agenda. The next thing is about David. No, not David, but Juan.
Oh, Juan's work.
The
Yes.
syllabus. I
Syllabus.
love.
So you can see it or
great
not?
work.
No. Why I cannot? Oh, wait. Let me do something else.
May I ask, Juan, did you use artificial intelligence to help you do the syllabus?
Absolutely.
This is what I did. I copy in this document only the English part for us, okay? And Juan said we'll start by theme 1, life as a fundamental value.
Perfect.
And he did start to ask questions, exploring the concept of life from physical, philosophical, spiritual, scientific. Wait, don't know if you can see. Sorry.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay. Social perspective. So we'll extract the data from the various transcripts. And here's a question like, and then I complete myself the question. He said, for example, the definition of a nature of life. So I try to say, maybe we can ask the question like, what is life? What is the origin of life? How life appears on Earth? How to create life on Earth? How many life forms exist on Earth? How many life forms are classified? How life is maintained? How life ends? What happens when life ends? Death. Is there a life circuit on this planet? Who maintains the life circuit and so on? So I thought about that. I don't know. That was my thought with the first question of Juan. Yes, Marta.
Thank you very much. I have, and firstly, congratulations to both you and Juan and you, Jacques, for all the thinking and work that's gone behind it. I do think that if we are trying to reach the millennials and the Generation Z, we really have to put it into video. We really have to put it, they would not be looking at long texts. So we must find immediately a way to turn this into theater. We must go back the 3,000 years, as Kona said, and turn it into theater, into text, into examples from world cinema. So think of this, all of this can only work if it's a film, really, or many small films. So I love the idea of doing this, doing it for every one of the 98 words. And I know Juan has a question. If words, if other technical words also fit into the 98. Juan, do you want to ask your question?
Sí, quería preguntarle a Sondjah a ver si en las 98 palabras se puede introducir palabras técnicas también, como tecnología, como ultimatum, eh, porque ellas están en las transcripciones. Y se supone
Ultimatum.
que todo lo que tenemos que buscar es en las transcripciones esas palabras, si existen, si están plasmadas y hay una enseñanza detrás de ellas.
Sorry,
Did
Marta,
you,
could you
translate?
explain?
He was just saying, for instance, words like technology, words like ultimatum, just repeat
Ultimatum.
the word. Yeah, but it's not ultimatum. It's just repeat
Utilitarian.
the word. No, Juan, to repeat the word. Yeah.
Ultimatum.
Ultimaton.
Ajá.
It's a word that is used often. He wants to know, are these part of the 98 words? My understanding was that the words are almost qualities of soul, but it's not necessarily the right, it's, so maybe if Sondjah can help us understand.
But ultimaton is part of the energy system. It's electron. Ultimaton, it's just energy. So it could be derived from the word, but I don't think ultimaton is a word in the syllabus.
But maybe Sondjah can help clarify whether there are other words that are not values that should be in there.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me see if I get a response. Hello, this is Sondjah. Let me clarify and thank you for the question. The main focus of the syllabus are the 98 values. Other words will come up in your exploration for what you need to be teaching. Words like technology are, of course, adjunct to the teaching, but not necessarily in the value system. Values are beyond technology and not necessarily related to technology. They are independent of technology. On planets that do not have the same technology that you have, those words might be different, but the value system in the universe is the same. So focus on the values and not be sidelined by these other terms that are not indicative of the values that we seek for you to understand and embody. Is this clear for you?
Muchísimas gracias. Sí, claro.
Thank you. Any other questions?
So Sanjay, this is Jacques. So Sondjah, you are saying that these 98 values are the same across our universe. It means, so does it mean that they are taught to all planets which are in advance? Question.
Yes, of course. Thank you for that question. The value system in the universe is, in fact, universal, like truth, beauty, and goodness in our universal system. These values are indeed universal across planets, planetary systems, and even in other universes. Love, of course, is the core value coming from our Father and is conceived throughout all of these systems. So think about that as an example for yourselves. How can love not be part of any other planetary system? And how could love only be unique to your planet? It's not possible. We live and thrive on the value of love. We work with each other through the value of love, and we work with you through the value of love. Technology is limited by space-time continuum. Anything related to the technology on your planet is simply limited to your planet. The values are not limited to your planet. That's why the focus on the value system is the most important and key piece. Your value system will be here, felt, lived, and experienced, and will carry with you into the Morantial realms and in your post-mortal careers. Therefore, focus on the values, please.
Thank you,
Sondjah,
Sondjah.
Sondjah,
Martha?
may I? Thank you. May I ask? And that was really very clear. And thank you so much for that. I wanted to know, is it also adequate to think that these are qualities of soul growth, or that our souls grow by honoring these 98 values? What is the relationship between these values and the qualities of soul that you'd like us to be taught? Thanks.
Yes, of course, Martha, you are so perceptive. The soul cannot grow without an understanding of the values, and this is why they are core principles in your lives, or should have been core principles in your lives, and the core principles that you will grow from through here, through this planetary experience and beyond. Your technology, again, does your technology promote soul growth? Does anything else other than the core values promote soul growth? How you interact with each other and how you promote life on your planet is what impacts your personal and collective growth. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Gracias. Another question? What?
Anything
Yes.
else, my friends?
Sondjah, we have started to work on the first word, life, because life is a value. And we have started to elaborate questions on life. What is life? What is the origin? So is this the right direction to dig for each word a number of questions, search within the transcript, write some text from it, and later on we can do it on video or something like that. So this is a general idea we have to build up this syllabus.
So life is a good place to start, but I would suggest that you think of life as a value and not an object. If you look at life as a value and the quality of life as a value, how is that different than examining the biology of the life that exists on your planet? How would you answer that? How would you express that? And how would you explain life as a value to those who are going to witness your cinema?
Okay. From the first question we wrote, we look at life as a physical aspect. It's true, we were not concentrated too much on value. So you give us a clear direction, in my view.
Yeah.
Marta, question?
No, I thank you. That was just very clear. Yeah, that it helps us a lot. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. And if you will approach each of the values in that way and focus on the ethereal, the spiritual, the soul, according to the value that you are investigating and not the biology or the physical, you will be and find a more in-depth explanation of what it is that you are looking for and trying to teach. Those are the things that will expand beyond your lifetime here and into the other spiritual realms in your ascension career.
This gives us a very clear direction, I think, now. We will not lose too much time to know how many life forms exist on this earth. This is just physical and it's linked with our earth. What you said is just values across the universe for life. Wow. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
and
you.
if I might add, think about the source of life. Is it really in the biology? Is it really just in your planet? What is the source of life and what is the source of each of these values? And why is it important to know the source that exists in these values beyond your earthly existence? If the values only existed here on Earth, why would anyone ever want to leave?
Wow. Thank you, Sondjah. Makes sense.
It's very beautiful. Thank you.
Yes. It gives us a good direction to go this way. So, Juan,
You're
do you have
very welcome. Anything else that I can answer for you?
I think we need to continue our study, our research based on what you have just said, which is clear. And we were missing a little bit the point. Now we will concentrate more on values for each word and think about each values, each word as value across the whole universe, not specific to this earth. Okay.
Thank you. And I think you will find that this takes you into even a greater depth of your own spirituality. You may find much pleasure in investigating the values in this way. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gracias, Sondjah.
Mm. Thank you, Kona.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. Thank you.
Gracias,
Yes.
Kona.
Thank you, Kona. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
It
Yes,
also
so-
reminds me, sorry, Jacques, just that we need a song. There's a beautiful song, that Beatles film, Across the Universe. Across the universe. Na, 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 na. I'll play it for you
You'll have
next
to
time.
bring it for us.
We need a song. We need a song.
That's a great idea. There's like Bob Marley is one of my favorites because he has, just when we talk about cinema, we can't forget the music that's been produced to help elevate the values that we're talking about, because people will connect. And so that brings me to another expense, is royalties. Or getting royalty-free music or royalty-free, I think you can use up to 8 seconds of a clip or 8 seconds of a piece of music without having to pay a royalty. So there's little things like that.
May I quickly play this for a second and see if it, I don't know if you can hear if this is loud enough. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I'm just going to, 5,000 rand. Oh, I'm just going to see this. Oops. I'm just going to. Do you know this? Like endless rain into a paper cup, they slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Beatles song.
What's the name of that song, Martha?
It's called Across the Universe by the Beatles.
Okay, I'll make sure to look it up and listen to
And
it.
I think it's interesting because it mentions many of the words like joy. You just listen to it. I think they've been trying to get this through to us for many, many millennia.
A long time.
Yes.
Okay, so we did our 2 hours. It was very nice to have Sondjah at the end. Yes, Juan.
Voy a proponer lo siguiente,
Yeah.
que lo que dijo Sondjah se saque la transcripción y en la próxima sesión podamos discutirla entre todos para que todos estemos claros de lo que dijo, de las instrucciones que nos dio y comenzar a trabajar en esa dirección. Pero primero tenemos que estar de acuerdo y saber exactamente lo que él quiso transmitir.
Okay, Juan. What I
Can you translate? I need a translation.
Por favor, Marta.
He
So
said
just
that
repeat that again.
I think he said that he wants that the word of Sondjah are transcript.
Yes, absolutely.
So
yes,
that
yes.
everyone can read it,
Yeah. Okay.
interpret
Absolutely.
it, and then we can discuss it. So what I
Absolutely.
propose, I will quickly take the last part of this session to translate it in Word, so it will be quite quick because we have just 10 minutes probably of Sondjah. And then everyone can think about using the life to change the question you have in front of you with the one who have values in it.
Yeah. Okay.
Marta. Marta, por favor.
Yes. Sí, señor. Perdón.
¿Ellos entendieron lo que yo les dije?
Yeah. You said you wanted tú dijiste que tú quieres que nosotros transcribamos lo que tengamos, lo que tenemos ahora para compartir con los otros.
Sí.
Juan.
Sí, sí, la cuestión es que todos sepamos y podamos absorber el discurso.
Mensaje de Sondjah, ¿sí?
Sí, sí, el de hoy.
Yes. So
Okay.
I also have saved it now. I've saved the transcript. If you want to, I will by tomorrow send you Sonja's part. Tú quieres solamente la parte de Sonja por el momento, ¿sí?
Sí, porque es una instrucción muy precisa que nos dio. Y es
Sure,
una,
absolutely. Okay.
y yo creo que ese es por ahí es que debemos comenzar.
Yeah.
Para
Okay,
unificar
let's
los
start with that.
criterios,
Sure.
para unificar criterios de todos los participantes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But we can think about how do we see now, using just the word life, how do we see the questions?
Yeah.
Looking at the, you agree? We can work a little
Yeah.
bit before we discuss. Each one has to think about it on its
Yeah.
own and come up with this kind of question.
Yeah.
Because Sondjah said, what is the source of life, for example? That's a question. Yes, Kona.
Yeah, so what we didn't look at yet today are the beautiful diagrams that you guys did in Miro. And I think part of where you're going with the syllabus should also be to identify those words that come under the umbrella of life, right? Quality of life,
Yeah.
you know, whatever's on the syllabus that looks like it fits in that piece, growth,
Yeah.
for example, because growth is not the biology, right? So what does growth really mean if it's not about the biology?
Yeah.
And so I would suggest, you know, to not be overwhelmed, but two, to bring working pieces is identify the words that go with life and then begin to build with those, maybe not more than 10 at a time, not more than 10 words at a time.
Good.
May I also suggest the Chileans had 53 indicators of family well-being, and they broke them down into 7 dimensions. And so it's pretty much the same thing. So their dimensions was personal identification, housing, health, education, employment, income, family dynamics. But I was thinking it's exactly the same idea where you say we have dimensions and then we have the indicators underneath them. So let us do that whole exercise where we say there's 98 values. Let's break them down into their dimensions like life. Which of these would fit into that? So I think that needs a whole session where we bring back, because Juan didn't do 98. He did 70 some, or Juan? ¿Cuántos
80.
tenía tú? 80. Okay.
82.
Yeah. Okay. So let us do the next time. Let's work on those and bring the dimensions and the kind of ones that fit under them. Yeah.
And share
work
in between, because the sharing in
Absolutely.
between is really helpful to look, you know, at the work that you're doing in between. And may I also suggest, because of our previous conversation, start keeping track of how much time you spend doing this. Just like, did you spend 10 hours, 15 hours? Think about how much time you're spending on the work that you're doing. That's going to be very helpful in building a budget.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an excellent idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Mark, do you want me to start from the transcript, put the words? Then you will do the review.
Happy, I will do Sonja's part. I'll do Sonja's part now, and then if you want to work on the other. Okay.
But
please, if you...
okay. For the rest, I will be simple. I will try to concentrate on the main item because we have already the recording of the 9 questions.
Okay, perfect. Yes, okay,
so
perfect.
The most important of this session was the Sondjah at the end, I think.
Yeah, perfect. I'll quickly transcribe or just make sure that it's edited and then share with Kona and the 2 of you. And we can translate it into 3 languages. Okay.
Perfect.
Merci
Thank you so much. Wow.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Kona,
Very
what do we say?
successful session.
What do we
Hawaiian,
say?
aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, mahalo.
Okay. Bye, donkey.
Okay.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
God bless
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
That was a lovely session. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sondjah.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Juan. God bless. Take care. Well done.
Chao. Chao, belleza. Dios te cuide
Muchas
siempre.
gracias. Lo mismo te digo.
Muy bonita la sesión de hoy. Muy
Sí, señor.
bonito. Todo
Muy
lo que
bonita.
está muy bien de ahí. Sí hay
Yes.
cositas que siempre tendremos que ponernos de acuerdo y aclararlo para darse mejor a entender, ¿verdad?
Sí, señor.
Pero, pero yo creo que estamos evolucionando. Estamos
Estoy
consiguiendo
de
las
acuerdo.
respuestas.
Sí, señor.
Estamos consiguiendo las respuestas. Te voy a explicar te voy a explicar el árbol que yo hice.
Ujú.
¿Tuviste el árbol, el dibujo que yo hice en Miro?
Sí, 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 señor. Sí.
Ok, yo considero, o sea, yo tomé las palabras de Sondjah y él
Ujú.
dijo que tú lo podías hacer el árbol a la inversa si querías.
Sí, yeah. To the top, to the bottom, and bottom to top, yeah.
Entonces, claro, está el universo representado por la Tierra,
Ujú,
¿verdad?
ujú,
Y en el universo, del universo emanan, ¿verdad? De Dios emanan la calidad de vida,
ujú,
no, la belleza, la verdad y la bondad.
yeah.
De esas tres raíces emergen los demás valores
Ujú,
que hay, siendo la cúspide, la cúspide, la cúspide de todo, la ley,
ujú,
la vida, el valor de la vida, siendo secundados por la calidad de vida, por el crecimiento
yeah.
y por la igualdad.
Ujú,
Y en tercer lugar, los tres valores secundarios.
ujú,
Entonces, entre lo que es las tres verdades divinas, los tres
ujú,
valores divinos
ujú,
y la vida, se concentra todo lo que es el ser humano en sí.
ujú.
Eso es lo que la explicación de-
Perfecto, porque,
del árbol.
ok, perfecto. Entonces
Oh,
vamos a comenzar con este la próxima vez, porque entonces todos las demás pueden ir debajo de estos. Y vamos a
claro.
ver si es posible, porque son 9. No, son 7 más 3 son 10. Son
Ujú,
10. Y si es
sí,
posible que todos los demás van, y hay que hablar para mirar si sí es posible, poner todos los
claro.
demás en 10. Yo digo 10 dimensiones.
Ajá,
Entonces los 98 deben ir debajo de estos. O son
exactamente.
98 menos 10, o
Yo,
son 90, los
son,
88,
son
los
88.
88, los son
Sí,
80. Ah, tú
sí.
dices 82, no, pero son
88, 88.
88 menos 10. Perfecto. Ok,
Sí,
ensayamos entonces. Muchas gracias, mi
sí.
doctor. Ok,
Gracias. Bueno, me alegra
hasta
que,
luego.
de todas maneras, yo voy a seguir trabajando con la verdad. Voy a empezar eso que hizo. Si es posible que Jack me envíe lo que él le agregó al
Sí,
documento para yo saber y contestar todas esas preguntas y llevarlas
sí.
ya contestaditas. ¿Ok?
Ok, perfecto. Muchas gracias. Que vaya muy
Chao,
bien,
pues,
Juan.
Dios te
Muchas
cuide.
gracias. Hasta
Abrazo.
luego. Lo mismo te digo.
Ok.
God
Chao.
bless. Bye bye. Take
Chao.